Chosen one, listen closely. God said, "Hush your mouth." This is a divine warning that only 1% of people will truly understand. If you're watching this right now, it's no accident. God has orchestrated this moment specifically for you. Something monumental is unfolding in your life, and it demands your full attention. You are on the verge of a shift so powerful, so intense, that your entire reality will change. But only if you quiet the noise and align with what God is saying. The things you've been praying for, begging for, and waiting on are no longer distant dreams. They're arriving now. But here's the truth. Most won't get this. Only a select few, the chosen 1%, will recognize this divine message and act on it. If you're one of them, you must act fast and prepare yourself for the transformation coming your way. Before we dive deeper, stop for a moment. Do these 3 urgent things. Hit that like button, subscribe to help us reach 95,000 subscribers, and type the number 99 in the comments. This number is a divine code, a spiritual signal that will amplify the energy of this message and unlock your next level. Remember, if you're truly chosen, you'll watch this until the very end, because deep down, your spirit already knows. This is for you. If you're not ready to receive this truth, you might not make it to the end. But if you do, your life will never be the same again. Now hush your mouth, open your heart, and listen. God is speaking. Enough explaining, enough sharing, enough justifying your journey to people who were never meant to walk it with you. You've been trying to make them understand your spiritual process, but they're operating on a frequency that can't receive it. It's not their fault. They're just not tuned in. But if you keep speaking, you'll start lowering your spiritual volume just to be heard by deaf ears. Some truths are sacred, and sacred things must be protected, not paraded. God isn't telling you to be silent out of fear. He's telling you to be silent out of wisdom. When a seed is buried, it's not dead. It's being protected until the right season. Likewise, your calling, your vision, your next step, it's still being formed in divine soil. Speaking too soon exposes you to unnecessary warfare. There are some things that should remain between you and God until they are mature enough to speak for themselves. There's a difference between sharing your testimony and exposing your process. Don't confuse vulnerability with divine disobedience. There's power in knowing when to speak and when to hush. And in this season, God is whispering, "Be still." Guard your words. Your silence is your strategy. Not everyone will understand this message, and they're not supposed to. This word isn't mass-produced for public consumption. It's hand-delivered to the remnant, the spiritually awake, the alert, the called. If this message hits your spirit, it's because you're one of the few who've chosen the narrow, lonely road over the popular one. That already sets you apart. The crowd loves comfort, but the chosen ones are called into consecration. While others chase clout, you're being pulled into clarity. While they chase platforms, God is building your altar. And not everyone will clap for that. That's okay. God didn't choose you to be popular. He chose you to be purposed. And that purpose comes with a different weight, a different warfare, and a different level of spiritual instruction. You're not crazy for hearing what they can't hear. You're not arrogant for walking away from what they still celebrate. You've simply been awakened. And with that awakening comes the command: move differently. Because when God whispers, the 1% don't need thunder to believe. they just obey. Premature exposure can kill what God is still growing in you. You keep trying to prove you're progressing, when God is saying, "Let me finish the work first." Announcing your calling before it's cultivated is like opening the oven too early. What was rising will collapse, not because it wasn't real, but because it wasn't ready. Social media has convinced us that everything must be shared. But heaven operates in silence and strategy. Jesus didn't broadcast his miracles before they happened. He often told people not to speak of what they'd seen. Why? Because some moments are meant to remain sacred until they manifest with undeniable power. Let your fruit speak. Let your transformation testify. There is glory in the hidden seasons. Don't despise the cocoon, just because the world doesn't see your wings yet. When it's time, they won't be able to ignore what God has done in you. Until then, hush your mouth and let the process complete. It's exhausting trying to explain spiritual things to people who only live by logic. Your anointing is not up for debate, and your obedience doesn't require a panel. If they don't understand your calling, that's because it wasn't given to them. It was given to you. And that's more than enough. Some people only recognize what they can control. And since they can't label your journey, they'll try to limit it. But you weren't built for boxes. You're called to break them. Don't shrink your calling to make others comfortable. What God whispered in your spirit was a divine instruction, not a public poll. You have to be okay with being misunderstood. Even Jesus was rejected in his hometown. Don't let familiarity sabotage your faith. God will often isolate the chosen so he can incubate the calling without outside contamination. Let them talk. Let them wonder. Just stay obedient. Not every smile is genuine. Not every supporter is safe. Some people are clapping with one hand and sharpening their sword with the other. You feel it. Your spirit knows. God is pulling back the veil and revealing hearts in this season. Not to make you paranoid, but to make you prepared. Discernment is your defense. God isn't exposing people to break your heart. He's doing it to protect your destiny. If you knew what some people were really saying behind your back, you'd be shocked. But God heard it, and he's trying to teach you to trust your spirit more than your sight. Stop ignoring red flags just because they come dressed in familiarity. This is your season to watch silently. Don't confront everyone. Don't call them out. Just withdraw access. Protect your oil. Stay focused. You don't need to announce who you're distancing from, just distance. The real ones will understand. The fake ones will reveal themselves. Not every opportunity is divine. Some doors are bait. Some platforms are traps. The enemy doesn't just come with horns. He comes with contracts, followers, and flattery. Be careful. What looks like a breakthrough might be a breakdown in disguise. Discernment is your compass right now. If something feels off, it probably is. Don't ignore the check in your spirit just because the offer looks good. The enemy knows your weaknesses too, and he'll tailor the trap to your desire. That's why prayer and silence are critical. Not everything shiny is sacred. You're not being picky, you're being protected. God will often delay the good to protect you from the counterfeit. Wait. Listen. Test every spirit, even the ones that look anointed. What's for you will align with peace, not pressure. Your voice is powerful, but so is your silence. In this season, silence isn't weakness, it's warfare. Every word you speak carries weight, and if you keep leaking vision in the wrong environments, you're empowering the very forces trying to stop you. God said, "Close your mouth before you collapse your mission." It's not about fear, it's about strategy. Some things are too holy to be handled carelessly. If the enemy can't destroy you, he'll distract you. And often, the distraction comes through conversation. Conversations that drain you, tempt you, or twist your words. The devil doesn't always roar. Sometimes he just listens, takes notes, and waits for the perfect time to strike. Don't give him ammunition with your words. You are not obligated to explain yourself to anyone who hasn't earned access to your process. The next level of your life demands a sealed mouth and a steady heart. Let your actions do the talking. Let your fruit answer every question. God is hiding you on purpose. Stay hidden until he says, "Speak." Every open door isn't from God. Just because it looks like favor doesn't mean it's divine. Some blessings are actually bait, carefully placed to pull you out of position. The enemy knows how to mimic the appearance of elevation, but it's a trap in disguise. That's why discernment isn't optional. It's survival. Ask yourself, does this opportunity align with God's voice or just your ego? Does it bring peace or pressure? Favor from God will never require you to violate your values or silence your convictions. If you have to lose your integrity to gain the opportunity, it's not favor, it's a setup. Don't let desperation drown your discernment. God doesn't just want to bless you, he wants to build you. And real building takes time, testing, and sometimes closed doors. Be willing to walk away from what looks good so you can wait for what's truly God. Every test is meant to sharpen your spirit. Pass it by, staying still. You carry something sacred: oil, anointing, calling, insight. And not everyone is equipped to receive it. Pouring into the wrong people is not generosity, it's leakage. If they don't value it, they'll abuse it. If they weren't sent to steward it, they'll steal from it. Stop giving access to those who only take and never invest. Even Jesus didn't perform miracles everywhere. Why? Because faith and honor determine what flows. If you're constantly drained, that's a sign you're pouring into deserts instead of gardens. Be wise with your oil. Protect it. Reserve it for those assigned to grow from it, not profit off it. You're not being selfish, you're being strategic. Your oil isn't for the masses, it's for the mission. And in this season, your mission requires preservation, not performance. Don't throw pearls before swine. Keep your oil sealed until God says, "Release." It's seductive, isn't it? That thing that looks perfect, sounds promising, and feels like everything you prayed for. But not all open doors are divine. Some were engineered by the enemy, dressed in your desires, and timed with your impatience. It's not just about what it is, it's about who sent it. You can't judge a door by its decoration. Ask God to reveal the source, not just the surface. The enemy knows how to gift-wrap destruction in opportunity. He did it in the garden. He did it in the wilderness. And he'll do it again. If it pulls you out of character, purpose, or peace, it's not from heaven. This is why discernment must rise above desperation. Don't settle for something that looks good now, but cost you your soul later. A trap dressed as a breakthrough will always come with fine print. Read it with your spirit, not just your eyes. If it feels forced, rushed, or inconsistent, walk away. When God reveals who people really are, believe him. Stop trying to repaint red flags into misunderstood moments. If they show you manipulation, deception, jealousy, or betrayal, don't explain it away. God isn't being cruel. He's being clear. It hurts to see someone you loved or trusted become unsafe. But clarity is mercy. Don't keep giving loyalty to people who have shown you disloyalty. Believe their patterns, not their apologies. Watch the fruit, not the flowers. You're not judging, you're discerning. And that discernment is a gift. Once you see it, go silent. You don't have to make a scene. You don't owe them an exit interview. Just withdraw, regroup, and realign. The ones who were truly assigned to your destiny will protect it, not poison it. You've been feeling isolated, misunderstood, maybe even questioned your own sanity. But let this be your confirmation. You're not crazy, you're called. The warfare you're experiencing isn't random. It's because you're marked by heaven. And people who aren't called won't understand your calling. When you walk with God, your life stops making sense to people who walk by sight. Your obedience will confuse the comfortable. Your silence will irritate the loud. Your process will offend those who are still performing. But you weren't chosen to fit in. You were chosen to transform. Stand tall in your difference. Your uniqueness is divine strategy. You weren't meant to blend. You were meant to shift atmospheres. Stop waiting for validation from people who've never been in the secret place with God. They can't approve what they haven't seen. You can feel it. The spiritual atmosphere is shifting. The warfare is intense. Your sleep is disrupted. Your spirit is sensitive. This isn't just a bad week. It's a storm. But not all storms are sent to break you. Some are sent to birth you. In this season, the storm isn't your enemy. It's your classroom. God is teaching you strategy in the silence. Every battle isn't meant to be fought with volume. Some require worship, stillness, and divine restraint. Keep your peace. Hold your tongue. Your silence is more powerful than your arguments. God is hiding you in plain sight. Don't confuse obscurity with abandonment. He's covering you in the middle of chaos, so the enemy can't track your next move. Stay low. Stay locked in. When the storm passes, you won't just survive. You'll emerge stronger. This journey will cost you company. The higher God calls you, the fewer people can come. And it hurts. It's lonely. But isolation isn't punishment. It's preparation. If you've had to walk away from friends, family, even mentors, it's because God is sanctifying your circle for where He's taking you. Some assignments require a private journey. Abraham had to leave his family. Jesus often slipped away to pray alone. Don't resent the solitude. That silence is where God will whisper the next instructions. The crowd can't hear it. Only the chosen can. If you have to walk alone, walk boldly. Heaven backs you. Angels surround you. God goes before you. And when the time is right, He'll send those who are aligned, not just attached. Until then, walk with purposeful isolation. You're not alone. You're just set apart. You're not in a popularity contest. You're in a spiritual war. This isn't about being liked, followed, or celebrated. It's about surviving with your purpose intact. You were born to wage war against darkness, not win applause from people still stuck in it. Guard your vision like a weapon, because it is. The enemy wants it. The fake friends envy it. The wrong voices will dilute it. You cannot afford to be careless with what God gave you. Your dream isn't just ambition, it's an assignment. And it comes with enemies, visible and invisible. So suit up, go silent, stay sharp. Don't get distracted by the crowd or the comments. This is warfare. Move with precision. Speak with purpose. Obey without delay. God gave you the blueprint. Now guard it like your life depends on it, because it does. What looks like the end is often just the beginning in God's story. Right now, you may feel overlooked, silenced, and sidelined, but God is working behind the curtain. Heaven doesn't operate like earth. In silence, God is setting the stage. You may be backstage in the dark, but don't mistake the silence for absence. It's a setup. The spotlight is about to shift. Your name is being whispered in rooms you haven't entered yet. Your obedience in the quiet place is unlocking blessings in the public place. People may have dismissed you because they haven't seen the fruit yet, but they didn't know the seed was buried for a season, not discarded. God always flips the script in the most unexpected ways. While others are broadcasting noise, you've been cultivating depth. Remember this: when God elevates, it happens fast and without apology. What was hidden will be revealed. What was mocked will be magnified. Your silence was never weakness. It was the sound of strategy. The chosen ones don't scream. They move in silence until destiny calls them forward. So don't rush your emergence. Stay low, stay planted, stay in position. When God says it's time, no devil, delay, or distraction will be able to stop what's about to be released in your life. The same people who overlooked you will witness your overflow. They thought it was over for you. They saw your struggle, your silence, your season of loss, and they assumed it was your final chapter. But what they didn't realize is that God doesn't write stories like man does. He saves the most glorious plot twist for last. And you, beloved, are entering your final act of redemption and reward. Every tear you cried, every no you heard, every door that slammed in your face, it was storing up something far more precious than temporary applause. God hid your reward not to deny you, but to preserve it for the right moment. Your value was never in what people saw. It was always in what God stored. This next season isn't just about restoration. It's about divine compensation. The ones who counted you out will be forced to watch God count you in. He's not just repaying you in full. He's adding interest, multiplied by obedience. That job, that breakthrough, that influence, it's coming, and it was always reserved in your name. So don't try to prove yourself to anyone. Don't go back trying to explain why you stayed silent. God is your defender and your deliverer, and when He reveals what's been hidden, it will silence every doubt and every doubter. They mocked your missteps. They whispered about your losses. They thought your silence meant surrender. But while they were busy watching your fall, God was preparing your rise. The pain you endured wasn't punishment, it was polishing. Every scar you carry has been turned into spiritual armor. The crown you're about to wear wasn't made in moments of glory, it was forged in fire. The very trials they laughed at became the training ground for your triumph. You didn't lose anything that wasn't part of the pruning process. What felt like a loss was really a divine upgrade in disguise. God doesn't crown pride. He crowns the crushed, the broken, the humble. You were never forgotten. You were being formed. Diamonds are shaped under pressure, and your pressure was heavenly preparation. And now, the crown fits. Now, the weight of it won't crush you. It will complement your calling. So lift your head, not in pride, but in gratitude, because what they laughed at, God used. What they buried, God resurrected. And when He places the crown on your head, every mocking voice will fall silent under the weight of His glory on your life. Some doors didn't open because they weren't your doors. And that's a good thing. God doesn't force you into places that dilute your destiny. He designs custom pathways, doors with your name carved in the frame, doors that only you can walk through, and only when you're ready. Rejection wasn't rejection, it was redirection. You were protected from places that couldn't carry your oil. While others ran ahead, you stayed planted. That patience wasn't in vain. God has been building something tailor-made for your gifts, your heart, your calling. You didn't miss it. You were just being measured. When the door opens, it won't require striving. It will require stepping in. The alignment will be supernatural. The timing, undeniable. And the favor attached to it, unstoppable. It will be clear this was not man's doing. It was God's orchestration from beginning to end. So don't panic in the waiting room. Don't beg to be included in places God excluded you from. The door that's coming was handcrafted in heaven, and when it opens, it will feel like home, because it was always yours. Delay hurts. It's frustrating. It makes you question your faith, your identity, even God's promises. But here's the truth. God is never late. He's deliberate. That delay you cursed was actually your classroom. The longer the wait, the greater the weight of what's coming. If God gave it to you when you first asked, it would have crushed you. You weren't ready, and He loved you enough to prepare you, not just promote you. Delayed doesn't mean denied. It means developed. Your roots were going deep, even when it felt like nothing was happening. Now, the platform is almost ready, and you won't just step onto it, you'll be sustained by it, because now you've got endurance, wisdom, discernment. God isn't just giving you visibility, He's giving you authority. What's coming is not about hype, it's about heaven's agenda being fulfilled through you. So breathe, rest, trust again. What you thought was a dead end is actually a divine launching pad. Your platform will have power because it was birthed through process. It may feel like everything around you has gone dark, like you're sinking instead of rising. But let this truth settle deep in your soul. You are not being buried, you are being planted. And there is a massive difference. Buried things are forgotten. Planted things are prepared for growth. What looks like isolation is actually incubation. A seed doesn't grow above ground. It grows in silence, in pressure, in dirt. You've been covered, not to be hidden forever, but to develop quietly. This is your root season, where God is strengthening your foundation, so when you rise, nothing will shake you. The world may have forgotten about you, people may have stopped checking in, but heaven has been tracking every second of your process. The deeper the root, the stronger the rise. And when you break through the soil, there will be no denying it. This growth was supernatural. You didn't force it. You were formed for it. Get ready. The breaking of the soil is coming. The light is shifting. The season is turning. The same ground that covered you will testify of your transformation. What looked like loss was the soil of legacy. Some of the hardest moments of your life, the betrayals, the losses, the breakdowns, were not meant to destroy you. They were divinely repurposed to launch you. God never wastes pain. What the enemy intended to break your spirit, God is now flipping into the very fuel for your destiny. You didn't come through that fire empty-handed. You came through with wisdom, strength, and a deeper connection to the God who never left you. And now, that pain is becoming your platform. Your testimony carries anointing because it wasn't theoretical, it was earned in the trenches. This is the paradox of being chosen. Your greatest power often comes from your greatest suffering. People saw the fall, but they didn't see the forging. They watched you bleed, but they'll also have to watch you rise. Because what was meant to take you out is about to take you higher. Purpose is often born in pressure. What almost broke you is the very thing birthing a new mantle in your life. So don't curse the past, redeem it, use it, let it testify, because you didn't survive it for nothing. Your environment is changing, your mind is shifting, your circle is shrinking and expanding at the same time. That's not confusion, that's transition. God is lifting you into new realms, spiritually, emotionally, vocationally, and what's coming will be undeniable to everyone watching. This elevation isn't just about success, it's about stewardship. God is trusting you with more because you proved faithful with little. You didn't chase stages, you chased Him. You didn't seek platforms, you sought purity. And now, He's expanding your territory in a way that's divinely irreversible. Don't be surprised when certain people can't follow you into this next realm. Access requires alignment. Where you're going demands a new level of discernment, clarity, and inner authority. You won't just influence people, you'll shift atmospheres. What's coming isn't normal, it's kingdom. Prepare your spirit. Elevation sounds exciting, but it requires new levels of obedience. Let go of the familiar. Embrace the unfamiliar. The shift is here, and it's not subtle. God is moving quickly. Don't miss the momentum. You didn't chase position. You didn't manipulate your way into power. You weren't after status. And yet, God is preparing a throne in your name. Not because you demanded it, but because you were faithful in the field, ran after the crown. You ran after character. And that's why heaven has chosen you. The throne isn't just a seat, it's a mantle, a divine responsibility. You've been tested in private, and you passed the test. You didn't compromise for clout. You didn't bow for applause. And now, the one who saw it all is promoting you in a way that no one can deny or reverse. This throne won't look like what people expect. It might be influence in your city, your industry, your family line. It could be spiritual authority that changes generations. But make no mistake, it's royal and it's real. And it's being released because you stayed low when you could have gone loud. So get ready. The robe is coming. The oil is being poured. The scepter is being handed down. And your name, the one they forgot, is being called. This isn't ego, it's elevation through obedience. Wear it with humility. Walk in it with power. For so long, you've labored in the shadows, prayed in private, gave your best in silence. No fanfare, no platform, just raw obedience. But God saw it all. And now, that silent season is giving way to supernatural recognition. Not for your glory, but for His. People will wonder where you came from. They'll ask how you grew so fast. They'll think it was sudden, but you'll know it wasn't. You were planted, processed, and positioned by God Himself. Recognition is coming, not because you fought for it, but because you fought through it. This is the season where favor finds you, where doors open without you knocking, where your name is mentioned in places your feet haven't touched yet. And it's not hype, it's heaven's reward for years of hidden faithfulness. God is putting your name in rooms where decisions are being made. But remember, recognition isn't your reward. God is. Let the spotlight point back to Him. Let the stage become your altar. You weren't made for fame. You were made for impact. Now rise and walk in what you were prepared for. You were never invisible. You were intentionally hidden. People mistook your silence for weakness. They assumed you had nothing to say, no power, no anointing. But what they couldn't see was that God had you on mute so He could amplify you later. And that moment is coming, fast. The ones who overlooked you will soon hear your name in spaces they never imagined. God is about to make your name echo, not for vanity, but for victory. You didn't strive to be seen. You surrendered to being shaped. And now, what was quiet obedience is turning into loud influence. But here's the miracle. This echo isn't just reputation, it's reverence. People will see the oil, the wisdom, the power, and they won't be able to deny the hand of God on your life. And the same ones who once ignored your presence will now be impacted by your purpose. That's how God moves, from hidden to heralded, in one divine breath. So don't chase clout, chase consecration. Stay aligned, stay humble. God is handling the announcement. The echo is coming, and it will not fade because it's being carried on the winds of divine timing. You thought things would take years, but heaven says, now. The shift you've been praying for isn't coming gradually, it's coming suddenly. The God you serve doesn't need a committee, a calendar, or human permission to turn things around. When He moves, it's instant, undeniable, and irreversible. This is the season of divine reversals. What looked like a loss will become leverage. What looked like rejection will become redirection. You're about to experience